let's talk a little bit about music, and that obviously is a huge part of who this character is. What was there inspiration in terms of specific musicians that you were patterning this guy after?
Well, there was a sort of romantic template. This idea of the Gothic romantic poet that is kind of the spirit of rock and roll, even like long before the advent of rock and roll. So we talked about Syd Barrett and David Bowie and Mick Jagger, and for me it was just a pleasure to sit and listen to Jim talk about Tom Waits and Iggy, who are on speed dial for him, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And we also talked about Shelley and Byron and Hamlet, and all of Jim's music, sort of Brian Eno, White Hills, Bach, the people who essentially have been infused with the spirit of rock and roll. Jimi Hendrix.
Was there ever any talk that this character would sing in the film?
I think he in Jim's mind, he's someone who has once sang, but he's been making music for so long that actually he's become fascinated by some very, very sort of refined form, in that all the florid stuff that he used to be interested in, the Schubert, the Paganini, the Bach, has sort of distilled itself into something much more kind of emotional for him, which is this low electric drone.
Right.
That's almost like he's become, because he's also fascinated by science and the mathematical, musical beauty of sound waves and things at an atomic level, that actually he just wants to like sort of play things through his speakers and listen to the way they reverberate. There's one of my favorite sections of the film is when Tilda's character Eve is sort of soothing Adam's melancholy, and she says, did you know that they've discovered a star that's like a radiant diamond. It's made out of diamonds, and it emits a signal that sounds like a gigantic gong, and that blows Adam's mind. The idea that up there is a sort of a diamond star that's an instrument all of its own.
You mentioned that you either play loudly or badly on your own in private. So what are you playing? Like, what instrument and what music are you playing? And B, whose musical talents do you want to suck the marrow out of and just inject into yourself? Like, what do you do? What's the ideal? What are you trying to be? What do you want to be in your mind's eye?
I play the piano, and I wish I could play it like Justin Vernon. That's very soulful stuff for me. And I also play the guitar, and I play Dylan and Mumford, and it's a very sort of tinkling, sort of tinkling folk vibe.
That's your
my guitar
the
thing,
tinkling folk vibe.
yeah, a little, the bits of Red Hot Chili Peppers, I suppose, and I hasten to add, I play all of this incredibly badly, but it's I enjoy it. It gives me, I get very soothed by it. It's sort of like my ear is okay, especially with the piano. So I love being able to. I remember last year I was obsessed with trying to work out the chord structures for Someone Like You. It's the Adele song.
Sure.
It's not difficult, and I can't sing along to it, but it's nice to be able to play those things. What else have I learned recently? I was trying to learn the soundtrack to Road to Perdition by Thomas Newman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which has some very beautiful chord structures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the piano really is my instrument.
Yeah.
If I could be, Adam is a guitarist. He's fascinated by strings. He plays the violin, the lute, but I love the piano. And if I could be anyone, I'd love to be one of those people who can sit down and play anything.
Totally.